So come on then, tell us about your earliest memories. What do you remember? Where were you?
My earliest memories?
So you were born in 37?
37. 167 Connaught Road, Brookwood. County of Surrey.
Surrey. Do you remember the war? Do you remember the war or not?
I was thinking now, the first remembrance I have of the war is there were either soldiers or home guards filling up their water bottles for them, dashing in and out of the house to fill up their water bottles because they were resting by the side of our house after being on a march or something. The next recollections I have are there's a few dog fights and a couple of Germans bailing out from aircraft.
Oh, wow.
A German bomber being chased and he dropped his bomb load on the local cemetery. And
Oh,
so
right.
he had more chance of escaping. And then there was either I think it may have been the Dieppe landings which went wrong, the Canadians, because I do remember a hospital train coming into our station, and all these, well, they say the walking wounded, well, walked down past our houses, and I do remember being sort of bandaged up, tattered, dragging their rifles.
Oh, wow.
I think it must have been a Dieppe landing. I can't think of any other project that it could have been.
What year would that be? 44?
That was, I'm not sure.
The D-Day. When was D-Day? 44?
No, that was 44. This was prior to that. This is when they did a trial landing in France. I don't know why it was, but so sent the Canadians in when they were massacred. I think that's what it was. After that, it's a case of triumphant bands marching up and down the road from the station, marching troops to the Purbright garrison, which was the Guards depot, Blackdown and Camberley garrisons. And the next main recollections are of seeing, for the first time, African and Indian soldiers, because they all came for the Victory Day, and they were camped all around us in the woods in their ornate uniforms. And that's I think it's probably the first recollections that I have of seeing our coloured brethren.
That must have been weird.
It was very strange.
Yeah, I mean, we take it for granted now, but it was very different then.
I do remember the sound of the doodlebugs, but we had one landed on a house called which was in Sheets Heath, which was about 1.5 miles away. And we had a shop next door, and the window went in, and the tiles came off the roof. And nobody woke me up and told me.
No.
So you were so disappointed.
I missed it all.
Yeah.
And then that was, I think, the closest we got to any bombing or anything like that.
Yes. Yeah.
You're quite lucky then, really.
Where did you have your air raid shelter then? Because ours was in Uncle John's bedroom.
Oh, we didn't have one.
Oh, didn't you?
You could see the glow of London burning.
Yes, I know.
And that was, I don't know how many miles, but it's quite a lot of miles.
Yeah.
So you were in where? Brookwood?
In Brookwood.
He was in Brookwood, yeah.
So that's how many miles out of London?
It's got to be 30 to 40 miles, I would think.
It's not that far, surely.
Well, yeah, we always thought it was 30 miles, but I'm not quite sure. But we used to stand in the back garden at night, and we used to count the bombers going, and then count the bombers coming back.
Yeah, that's what Gran used to say that she used to do.
We used to do that.
They used to stand and count them out and count them back again.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we had the big military cemetery. It's on the other side of the railway to us, and there was the American First World War dead were there.
Oh.
And then there was a sudden influx of American dead were buried there in a big patch. And I think it was only 5 years ago that I realised who they were. They were the Americans that were killed in the practice D-Day
I
landing.
thought you were going to say
The
that.
practice D-Day landings at
Something Sands. The ones down in
Devon.
in Devon.
Yes,
Something Sands down in Devon.
yes, that's right.
Yeah, oh no, and we shot. They shot them.
Well, they were surprised by E-boats coming from the Channel Islands.
That's right.
And the Americans carried on doing their firing as live as they could do, and they started hitting, sort of hitting their own men. And nobody sort of knew where they came from and why.
They kept it a secret,
And
didn't
then
50 years
I
or
do
so.
remember, after the war, that they came along and they just dug them up and took them back to America.
Yeah, because they didn't reveal it till
No,
the
it was
50-year
kept a
ban.
Yeah, it was kept a secret
That's right,
because
50-year
they
ban was up or something.
of undermining British confidence as
That's
well
right.
as letting the Germans know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. A lot of things went on during the war that.
The other thing that does stick in my mind about that era was that I went for a walk with my mother through the cemetery, and there was lots of other war dead there, and we came across this chap at a grave, and it was only a good old song. We spoke to him, and he was an American soldier, and he was at his brother's grave. His brother couldn't wait to join the war, went to Canada and joined the Canadian Army and was killed.
Immediately.
And he sort of said, why didn't he wait? Why didn't he wait? And so we offered to look after the grave for him.
And did you?
Permanently. But we did for many years. My mother did for many years.
But do you remember after the war getting a big food parcel from? Was it Australia? We had these big food parcels from.
I don't know, but saying that, I do remember seeing my first banana.
Yeah.
When was this?
We sat down for tea, the father, mother, Ted and myself, and they put a banana on my plate. I do remember it. They put this yellow banana on my plate.
Said eat it.
And they sat down and watched me to see what I was going to do with it, because I'd never seen one before. Living memory. And they did, they sat there and watched me.
So
What was I going to do with it, Anyway.
Trying to eat the skin.
Anyway, we finally got round that, but I do remember that, seeing my first banana after the war.
Yeah.